Hello, Tech Genius. I am Ravi. Have you ever imagined a place where learning is as dynamic as the technology shaping your world? Then here's a deal. With iMatix, you can make sure the learning is exciting, impactful right from the beginning. You have interactive sessions with expert led courses. In the world of tech, from data science to cloud computing, it's not just about a session, it's about doing, building, learning by solving real problems. So let's get started. Let's see when you open Moisture there for the company. Let's open this invoice. Oh, there are two ways to record the customer payment. One is from the related action of the invoice, and the second one is from the task by typing in record the customer payment in the search bar. Let's see if this gentleman has the access. He doesn't. As it's a new talent, let's assign the role to him first. I'll open your tab. He's a payroll guy now. That's what it is. This is really bad. Now again, I have to go to the search. I think all the user base are there. For recording, they may have put something. Someone has changed his role, or it is. Environment. Actually, this is a different environment. Whatever security we had given, our contributions we had given, that's gone now. Because it was a proxy. No, he was actually earlier. No. See, this is a different company. Suppose earlier we were using IBM, for example. Now they have given Deloitte like that. Obviously, it's a different talent, different company. Everything has gone. Let's give him this role. But for GMS users, someone should be having that role. Let's see who has that. If you have any friends in Dubai, you can ask him or her to do shopping for you. There is a shopping festival has begun for 3 days till 29th. And on all the brands they are giving like 70% discount. Only Gucci Prada channel. What is through this option? Customer payment. What is the amount? This is unfair, right? For now, I'll just say 100 and later on the status of this invoice will say partially paid. Let's say we have received $100 only for this. And then we take the same invoice again to say full payment. We say record and let's say $100 here. Payment references like a check number. You mention the check number, slip number, and memo testing and return. This will see next example. Again, we're doing a dollar deposit. It's showing this invoice. Save and apply payment. Payment amount is $100 here. I'll submit. It's done. Now, if you look at the payment group, this is successfully completed. If you click on this, customer transaction. And if you look at the accounting on this one payment, obviously you have to see the cash for the payment. There will be an accounting for it. Undeposited receipts to AR trade. Now let's go back. Limit and advice. 68875 967775. Payment status: earlier it was unpaid. Now it has changed to partially paid. That's again on 100. This time we created a deposit also. Deposit means simple. It's simple. When you get the check from the client, obviously, first of all you record the entry of the check. This is the check number against the same words I have received. And then once you do the entry, you go to bank and then you deposit the check. It's the same thing. Record customer payment and create deposit. I'll just show you the task also. And then we'll do it from the invoice. You will say record customer payment. Again, you can do it either from this task or create customer deposit. And we can do deposit from here. But typically I have seen, and even like our convolutions also, I have seen using this related action button. We'll again do a record. This time we'll say create deposit. Now in which bank account we have received the customer payment. We'll say Bank of America checking. Deposit reference. When you deposit the check, remember all of us, we attach it with the receipt. White receipt, kind of paper slip. This is our check number and all those things. Deposit reference, slip number. Something like this. Again, we are seeing that we see only the 8000 right now. Payment reference. This is basically in case of O2C guys who are into cash like receipting. They can do this method like once they have the payments in bank, they can just go and apply it to the invoices. When the O2C tragedy received the payment, this is more of a tragedy work. When they receive the payment, they apply it to the invoices, or it can be a mix of both. You can ask the O2C team to do it for their invoices, that you handle your own job. For supply invoices, it's mostly done by the R2RD. AP1 or AP teams. Supply invoices are in payment processes. When it comes to receiving the payment, anyone can do it. But when it comes to processing the payment from your pocket to someone else's pocket, it requires a review. In the settlement run, we will talk about it. We'll see that we can handle all of the AP steps also there. How much payment you are processing from our bank to whom you are processing. Come days put a lot of criteria when you transfer the amount from your bank account to other bank accounts. That's why you would always see that in the customer side, in the BPs, you would hardly have few steps. In the invoice, you have maximum 4 or 5 maximum. But if it goes to expense BP, you will see that in expense report or in supply invoice. There will be 20 steps also because of the review, but R2R doesn't apply the payment. No, the payment is getting released by AP guys only. No, it can be done by both R2R and treasury team or not BPs. Sorry. It's what you call it, the procurement payment team also. But in my recent project, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing that only treasury team is doing this. But in this project also they had given access to only one guy from the BP's team. But majorly it was done by the treasury team. because treasury takes care of all the ingoing and outgoing cash. Now let's again see in the dollars. Save and apply payment. You did it. I just wanted to check in the application itself directly. There is this amount. How much of that check or how much of that amount while transfer is getting utilized here? And rest of the it is directly applied to the invoice. It is not directly applied to the client. It is directly applied to the invoice. We don't apply to the client. That's why we had those write-off amounts and discount and all. Correct? Against which invoice we are writing the amount. Now that are our coming examples. How to write the amount, how to put an amount on account and all those things. Again, if you go to the payment application, let's go back to the invoice. It's partially paid again. 200 have been repeated. Now let's see a full example of fully paid invoice. Let's copy this now. Finally, we have received the full amount. Now, if you see this invoice, say paid and amount used is 0. Now we'll see a couple of examples of write-off on account. And let me create a payment term which will show us some discount also. We'll get to see that discount amount as well. Let's go to this maintain payment terms. Let's see if someone has created one. This one is good, net 30. Let's see if we can copy this. And we'll see one. We'll select this payment term. This one. We can see the discount functionality also. It's at 10,000. Now let's say I'm recording the customer payment, and I'll say 10,000. Actually, I should have calculated that. See, this system will automatically show the discount amount here. The exact amount which client is paying is line 800, because we're giving 200 discount. But suppose he had sent this extra 200. What you can do, you can put this 200 to on account that we have received an extra payment from the client. Both examples you are seeing in one single group, that the discount is also visible based on the payment terms and the payment time and amount of this on account as well, which is 200. Now if I just hit this one, you were saying if in case of he had paid 10,200, that 200 we could have put in there. Yes, I'll show you that example. Now I'll just hit submit. It's done. Now what I'll do, I'll just quickly copy this noise again, and this time I will select a non-discounted payment term. Let's copy this. And let's take the same example of then 10,000. Let's say immediate. Now I'll just show you what if he has sent a 10,500. Let's say 10,500. Now the system will tell you that there's an extra $500 remaining amount applied, because the invoice is for 10,000 only. But you got the check for 10,500. There is a 100 extra. What do you want to do? You can say, I'm putting on this one account. Submit. It's done. Now suppose you have received this extra payment and now you want to be referring back to the client. That we are giving back to you because we have received extra from you. There's a task called create customer refund. It's in progress right now. Maybe it's the integration is firing from the backend. We may have to wait for that. One step completed. Any other step? Let's see one more time. In the previous case, we had only received 10,000. 200 was applied as discount. But manually we had put 200 on the top corner right. 10,200 was the total invoice amount. But 2% was the discount. 2% discount means 200, right? We had to put that amount in discount field. But why did we put 200 on account then? I'll tell you. Invoice amount was 10,000. Check sent by client 10,000. Discount amount was $200. I'd be how much? You are saying You are saying already the invoice amount was 10,000. Check was also sent for 10,000. We had additional 200. Again, he has made it $200. I think he should have sent the check for this 9,800 because they told him that he gave it $200 discount. But he did a mistake and he sent the check for $10,000. But anyways, we have received $200 extra. That $200 we have put only on account. That's why it nullifies it. Yes. Shri Preeti, is this clear to you? Now we'll talk about create customer refund. In this create customer refund, as you can see, Workday is retiring the create customer refund task. We recommend that you opt into customer refund optimization feature instead by accessing the maintain feature opt-in report. You must have access to the setup system. No need to set up for children. Contact your Workday instructor for further help. They are bringing a new feature and they are deprecating this feature. That's why you see here do not use it, but you can still use it in September. No money to wait. Is GMS USA? This was something. I forgot what's the custom name. Atlas, I believe. Yes. Atlas only, right? Thank you. Let's do it again. The customer payment status is in bogus. Let's wait for it. That's what it is. Now we'll see some refund scenarios or write-off amounts. We'll just come here. Well, the copy this noise. I thought I need. Now with this, nine zero. Now let's record the customer payment. You have seen all this option, right? It goes from payment right of credit. Now we'll write a bad debt that the customer has said that I'm not paying a single penny. I'm running where I'm bankrupt or whatever it is. What is the right of credit task? Say default right of reason. What happened? It's a bad debt. Currency translation. Customer was bankrupt. Disrupted amount. Let's say customer was bankrupt. The right of amount is entire 5,000 because as one bankrupt, they will not pay a single penny. Because it's a bad debt process. Somebody has to make sure that yes, that it's a bad debt scenario and the customer will not pay. It has gone to Martin Davis. Let's process Martin Davis to approve it. Let's say it is approved. This is noise. They want, you can see as we come 0 here. You want these because the customer went bankrupt. All the activities you can track from your staff. Write-off happened on this particular date. And these are the details. Clear with this example also. Now let's go back to the same. Actually, I want to show you a very good thing, which I learned just 2 months back. And it's an interesting advanced level thing. There was a requirement from our client that reminded me that I have to work on it. We have a requirement from the client that whenever they submit the noise and the voice is approved. Final approval has been done on that noise, which technically means that everyone has reviewed that all the details are correct. Everything looks fine and on. No one should be able to make changes in the noise. Just like we see options here in this one. Other options like change the noise and all of these. When we submit the noise and that is approved, then no one should be able to make the because he is a Martin Davis. If I go back to the Teleca Serrano, I'll show you start boxing. We tried a lot of ways to do that but could not achieve it. Because somehow we started looking into community reaching out to networks. How to stop that? The first way was disabling domain access. To change any customer lines or whatever it is. But what was happening is like it was happening for all of the users and the O2 team in one go. But there are certain exceptions and scenarios that they must have done this or must have to do it for exercise reason. And because there was a big team in order to see for that client. That was not happening. That was not possible because it means like we had to rework on all the security groups and everything. And then we again had to reassign them back different domains. That was a big details. Strictly no, big no. Then I found out this way. While going to committee and then BP also, there are two things here. Let me go back here. Find customer invoice. Company. And here is James. James, you said? Because my necklace international. Did all of the look at this, invoice to it? You can change like edit a new voice, you can add a few numbers, you can change the number and all those things. You can add the note. But the requirement was that once an invoice is approved, no one should be able to make any changes at all. No change at all, not a single change. For that, there's a super cool feature called added customer account option and it customer option. Here you have to set the company first. Now, this will be applicable on all the company basis, not the customer basis. It gets applied on the company that for this company. For all of the customer and what is for this company. If they're finally submitted and approved, then not a single change is allowed after that. Whatever you have to do, you play around until the final approval happens, or you don't ask the final approval to approve the noise. But once it is finally approved, you will not be able to change the details in the customer noise. This is checkbox here. Yesterday, this was the question only what I was asking, but you said this is there that we can still change the invoices. That is what I was saying. Like post once we do the billing. If people can do the changes, then that is a problem, right? But that is available. But maybe I did not understand. I do not understand the question completely or the functionality you were asking for. But this is the functionality I want to tell you. We do have the option of blocking the editing option for yes. Once voices are approved, we need once the voice is finally printed. After that, no one should be allowed or would be allowed to make any changes. As you can see, if you select prevent changes to the voice of the fingerprint, you can't clear it up to you. Once it's done, it's done. You cannot uncheck it later on. Be very careful about this option. Once an invoice is approved and finally print it. No one would be able to make any custom invoices. And this changes is a one time, because if we have a client account, every time you set up a new company or old companies, you have to do this once only. If you wanted to uncheck it, it's just a one. After this, if anytime I create, I want to do this right now, it's just a practice. And then why should we spoil this for everyone? But once it's checked, you hit, and next second you want to come back. I want you to do that. Discuss it carefully with your client and the team members that you want to go with this approach or not. You cannot go and revert the changes once it's done. It's done. I guess in most of the cases it is actually getting frozen only. They must be having it. Another option, like to see the draft version of the invoice before final printing. That's all part of review and approvals on that one. I made the approval check. Everything is correct or not. First maybe the specialist, then the manager, then the regional control, and on. It's about money. You want to make sure everything is good in the noise. But in the thing is that once it is approved, like once the processor is doing the billing, and it is directly hitting the account rate. If there is no approval, hierarchy is there. Correct? Obviously, the separate account, the subject, activity has been done, and it has definitely been difficult. Generally, in general cases, once an invoice is printed, like once the final approval is done, it is not allowed to edit it. If you want to reverse, then you have to do that. Raise that credit. Note that you have sold us. Right? You can do an entire amount of the retestment, and then you get a fresh invoice. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.